A lot of my friends have difficulty talking publicly about their atheism because there's a lot of societal pressure against atheists. They have the risk of losing their friends. They have a risk of being kicked out of the house by their family. And when your biggest social group is the church, the instant you come out as an atheist, you lose all of that. Certainly, most Christians will sort of accommodate your beliefs, but there's a big aspect of the community that you're no longer involved in.
Overall, most of the reactions have been neutral or a little negative and a little distant. One thing that really surprised me was I was hanging out with a friend, a good friend, who I've known for 7 years, and he casually said something derogatory about people who are not religious, and I corrected him and I informed him that he was talking about me. And long story short, I lost the friendship. He no longer speaks to me, and I was really surprised by that because I didn't think that someone who knew me and who was my friend and who had been a part of my life for so long would just up and walk away because he happened to know more about me, and that was a real shock.
I went to church 3 or 4 times a week. We would go for Sunday morning services, Sunday evening services, Wednesday evening services, and sometimes things on Saturday and throughout the week. But we were very, very active in the church. I really started to question things in my 3rd year here. I began to look into things and sort of look at things more objectively, I guess you could say.
I came to Liberty to study religion, and as a part of that process, I began to interact with people who had different beliefs about God or that didn't believe in God, just to try to deepen my understanding of where they were so that I could presumably convert them to Christianity. And as a part of that process of interacting with them, my own beliefs began to be challenged, and things that I had grown up being taught as foundational or supportive of conservative Christianity, I discovered that some of them were just patently false, and that opened my mind to being willing to consider that other parts of my belief system were untrue.
I was raised by a Methodist and Presbyterian family that kind of switched back and forth. As I grew older, I more and more wanted to learn about my religious beliefs and be able to explain them concisely and explore some of the mystery. As I did that, I eventually ran into a professor who recommended I read Bertrand Russell's Why I'm Not a Christian. And on reading that, I discovered there were several large holes in Christianity, in some of their arguments. And as I studied them, I became less and less convinced of the truth of Christianity, and now I call myself an atheist.
In the Christian community, people who leave the faith are often ostracized. They are either no longer communicated with or they're shunned. And that's really what I fear about coming out publicly, especially from my parents. You know, I do realize that my parents will still love me. I'm still their son, but I'm not too sure that they would. I'm not too sure that we would have the same kind of relationship.